Hi, everyone. I'm Stacy Hall with Chi2B, and that is chi-to-be.com. And it is the site where we support teams in attracting and retaining its members so that they can grow with velocity and ease in order to achieve their goals. And I'm thrilled that I'm joined by my special guest today, Brenda Weiner, with Pathways to Harmony. Brenda, if you'll go ahead and introduce yourself, talk about the various teams that you're in the process of growing, because you're a multiple team developer.
I am. Thanks for the introduction, Stacy. So Pathways to Harmony is a health and wellness coaching business. And in addition to my coaching business, I also am part of a team with my husband, and we have two businesses. One is furniture making, and we sell direct to the consumer with that business. And then our new exciting business is we're creating a direct sell company. So we're in the ground building stages of that. We've got the product line, and we're just about to be putting all of the final pieces together to start attracting consultants. So that'll be a major team building project that we're part of. And then I'm also part of an essential oil company that is a multi-level marketing business where I am growing a team there as well. So lots of different fun teams in addition to my family team.
In addition to your family team. Can't forget that. So that's great.
Exactly.
Beautiful. And shout out again to the folks who are watching this live. Some of you may have us on to hold while you're going doing other things, but we'd love to know what teams you're in the process of attracting and expanding so we can make this conversation of much more value to you. And I am a 3-time #1 best-selling author. For those of you, that's important. I'm a licensed spiritual healing coach, certified natural therapies coach, success coach as well. And so I work with my clients in all different ways. And what I've noticed is as people begin to work on themselves, the reason they're doing that is to be able to be of greater value to their communities, to be able to attract more people to them in order to be more successful in every type of aspect of their life. I didn't say that exactly the way I intended to, but you know what I mean, is we want to go beyond just being good people for the sake of being good people. We want to be good people who attract other good people to do great things in the world. The difficulty is that we wind up getting stuck in the places that we got blocked as children. That's the truth of it. When we come together with other people, unless we're very aware of ourselves and of the various patterns that people bring into our relationships, we wind up interacting like we did in the sandbox. Most of the time, not really in a fabulous way. And so teams fall apart before they really ever get started because we don't have the tools to be able to work through the issues. And so that's what this series of calls has been about, these Blab chats, is identifying the mistakes that leaders make, one of which is to be a leader, because a team is not set up with one leader and a bunch of followers. That's not a team. That's a guru and followers is what that is. A team, in order to function well, must be a group of equal stature people. And even if we work for a company where there's a department manager and the others are staff, they can still be of equal stature, equal responsibility, equal accountability, equal contribution. And that's what we're talking about here, is how do we create those kinds of teams in order to be powerful. And Brenda, I know you're reading the comments on the side, so anything that's showing up there that you want us to address at this point?
Sure. Amber is saying she's in the process of expanding and attracting a team of business builders with essential oils, which in part means abundantly attracting new connections where I live now. So I am so ready.
Yeah, and whether it's a network marketing company or a corporate team that must stay together in order to fulfill its goals, doesn't matter. Or a family team. Maybe you don't have anybody beyond your immediate family. Well, that's great, because that's the place where we can learn to break through these blocks. So in the past, we've talked about how to schedule activities as a team more successfully. We've talked about how to play, explore, discover, experiment as a team more successfully. We've talked about how to identify and plan for when the team first comes together, the seeding stage, moving into a bigger sprouting stage, and then into the blooming stage where the team is being and doing and experiencing all it intended to be, and how to plan for each of those stages. We've talked about how to identify what would make more perfect team members for you to interact with, because if you're here, you're the one who's doing the attracting. We've talked about various ways of communication amongst the team, being impeccable, not making assumptions based upon past behaviors, not taking things personally, even if the person calls us by name, recognizing that they're just responding from their own limitations, means nothing about us, and continuing to bring our best to the party. We've talked about how to appreciate ourselves, because sometimes we're not getting a lot of appreciation from the others. And we've talked about how to appreciate the others so that they know we care about their contributions. And now we're going to talk about how do we keep our energy high when others don't choose to be responsible for that. And we're going to go deeper really into the conversation of how to not take things personally. So Brenda, are you ready for that conversation?
I am ready.
Amber, ready for that conversation? And Brenda, let's see who's still here with us on live. Yeah, you too, Amber. Okay, I see that. Okay, well, let's start by accepting that people don't have to do what we want them to do, even if we're paying them.
Yes.
They don't have to do it, right, Brenda?
Know that for a fact.
So we can either be upset about that fact, or we can accept that fact and recognize, all right, they don't have to. So I get to go back to episode number 4 and talk about, to myself, how am I going to view the qualities of the people that are really perfect for me to interact with? That's where it begins. So spending time all day long thinking about the people that we would want to interact with, as opposed to focusing on the people that are giving us frustrations. So I'm going to say that again. The ratio of how much time I spend thinking about the people I intend to attract, the people I've already attracted who I love being with, versus the amount of time I'm spending focusing on people who give me fits, will determine how high my energy is and available to attract more people like the ones I intend to attract. So Brenda, in your own words, if you would tell me what you just heard me say, and does that resonate for you, if you would, just to give me some feedback.
It does. For me, what I heard you say is all about focusing on what would be more perfect for me rather than what's not working for me. And so taking a look at if I have a situation that's not working for me, rather than focusing, just replaying that scenario over and over in my mind again, flipping it around to the exact opposite, and then really spending my time focusing on what would be more perfect for me.
Absolutely. So let me give a more specific example, because it isn't just thinking about what's not perfect for me. It's actually allowing myself to bask in the delight of what is working for me. So I have a variety of teams. I have a team that is supporting me with social media to spread the word about these blabs. In a network marketing company myself. I have my family team, and I like to think of my friends as a team. So I have mastermind partners who are also my friends, who are they are not actually involved in my other teams other than they mastermind with me to support me in moving forward. I can take a look, let's say, if in one of those teams there's some frustration going on. You know, maybe somebody is not seeing
Stacey, we're having some video feed cut in and out.
We are?
Yes, we missed some of what you just said.
Okay, I apologize. There goes audio feed. Okay, is this better?
That's better, thank you. And it wasn't your voice, it was the whole audio feed.
Everything was consistent. So Brenda, help me understand what cut out.
You were about halfway through your example of talking about giving us a more specific example on what that looks like to not even just be focusing on what would be more perfect. But so I can't tell you exactly where you've cut out because it kind of came in and out a couple times.
Okay, we got to get the audio feedback in. Is that better? Can you?
You're distant now.
I'm distant now.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, good. So the part again, one more time, because you were distant. Now I'm plugged back in. We're together.
Sure. So you were about halfway through your second example of what it looks like to be. So after I gave my take on what I heard you say, you started into your example and you were about halfway through that.
Okay. And let's welcome our new viewer, Steve, it looks like. Steve, great to have you here. Love to know what teams you're in the process of developing, because that's what we're talking about here is how do we keep our energy high and keep wanting to participate in our teams when other team members may not be so aware of the energy they're putting forth. So what I was offering is that let's say that I'm having an interaction that's less than perfect for me with a team member. I can spend my time, which is what I used to do years ago, trying to figure out how can I make it work with this person, right? And everybody will tell us, you got to find a way to make it work. I don't. I actually just don't. What I spend my time doing is thinking about what works with the people that it works with. It's like with Brenda. Brenda and I get along great. I'll think about, okay, how is it that Brenda interacts with me? If I were to say the same thing to Brenda, how would she respond to me? And I allow myself to feel the way I would want it to go so that I keep my energy high. So remember, that's what the conversation is about right now. That's this week's episode. How do I not fall into the trap of someone else's bad energy or someone else's negativity or someone else's inflexibility? I do it by making sure I think about the people who are flexible with me, who do want to participate with me. And that is what I use then to go back into the relationship with the person. So I'm going to give you another example of something that occurred yesterday. I am on a volunteer team. I volunteer my time to another team. I won't say what it is. And I had said, when I came on the team, they asked me if I would perform a certain job function. I said, under these parameters is what I'm going to do. And it was yes. Well, I was away for a week, and I had let everybody know that I would not have access to the internet. I wouldn't be back in my office to a certain date, and it would take me time to get caught up after being gone for this event. And as I'm going through emails and catching up, I see that a request was made to me while I was gone to take care of something quickly. Well, in the old days, I would have felt badly, honestly, as oh, I wish I had been here, should have done this, I should have done that. I went, no, I communicated that I wasn't going to be able to participate with the team during this time. So I did not respond to it. It was afterwards. I said, well, the person emailed me again as if I hadn't seen the email because I hadn't responded and said, we need you to do this quickly. And I responded back, I will add it to the list of items that I will agree to do by this coming Monday, because I already had a variety of things on my list, clients who were expecting me, other teams that I have agreements with. I don't bump people because someone else did not plan ahead. And not unless it's a true life and death emergency. And I wrote that back. I just said, it's scheduled to do before Monday. And the person wrote me back and said, I don't think you understand what I meant. All you have to do is da 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 da. I wrote back and I said, I do understand. And my agreement to do this function was that I would be doing X. You're asking me to do something else. If the job is going to require me to have to drop things to respond quickly to others that I did not expect, then I'm going to resign. Because I will only do what I agree to do. In the past, though, I would have gotten all in my head as like, I've already told him that I'm not going to be available. And why does he keep doing this? Like, nope. Because what I thought about was, let me see, my perfect team members, the other people on that team, all respected that I was out of town. They didn't ask me to do something that quickly. And so I just remember, it's like, yeah, I'm tapping into people who honor and respect me. I honor and respect. And from the honor and respect that I have for myself, I can respond to this person without anger, without upset, but from what works for me as a member of that team. That was kind of a long-winded example, Brenda. Does it work? Does it communicate? I'm going to ask the folks that are tuned in and watching, did this make sense to all of you?
It definitely makes sense to tap into existing people that are already in my life who do bring my energy up, and then layering that in with its ability to support me in staying calm when I am responding to someone who is not interacting with me the way that would be most perfect for me. So absolutely. And we do have a comment from Amber that I'd like to share. She said that used to make me feel heavy and down on myself for focusing too much on the negatives, but it's very inspiring and motivating to keep improving what is perfect to attract versus what I don't want to attract.
Right. I think we have another couple of comments too.
Yes. Seawell Builders says, yes, that makes sense. And Amber gave us another yes. So.
Okay, beautiful. And then a little up above, let's see who that is. Amen Sears says, aloha. Aloha. It's great to see you. All right. So if anybody, we have an open seat. If somebody's been dealing with a frustration on a team, you've got an issue, not quite sure how to deal with it, we would love to support you in being able to help keep your energy high and how to respond. So you're welcome to pop in the seat or to write a message to us, and we'll take care of that. Brenda, have you had a frustrating experience at some point that maybe you never really resolved completely? It's still hanging in your head. Let's take a look at that and clear it up.
So earlier on, when you were talking about people don't have to do what we make requests of them for. And one of the things that's been popping up for me lately is in some cases, I'm getting a yes, when in reality, the person's not being honest with me. They're saying yes because they feel like that's the answer that I want. And in fact, they're doing what they intended to do all along. So the words and the actions are not matching up.
Okay. Did you call them on it?
I did.
Okay, what
And
transpired? Good for you.
well, a look of like, I'm not sure what you're talking about. And what that helped me understand is how out of touch they really were with what was actually perfect for them. And so that gave me the ability to stay calm and respond in a different way, based upon that reaction to me, because it was very clear to me that they didn't even have a clue. They were saying one thing and doing another. And so it was just really eye-opening to see where they were functioning at, and then that gives me the ability to move forward with requests in a little bit different way.
Or not to make requests of the person at all. And now,
Yes.
so see, that goes back to episode number 4, because when I can feel that from someone, that's where I go back to, so tell me what's the most important thing in the world to you, because somehow they're interacting with that, or they've gone to sleep at the wheel completely and they're not even connected there. So if we can go back and ask people, and for everybody who's watching us right now, take a moment and ask yourself, beyond work, beyond anything we're talking about right now, what is the most important thing in the entire world to you? If you think about that, you're going to feel yourself start to lift your energy. You become a little more awake than you were a few moments ago. And I'm going to invite you to think about, why is that the most important thing in the world to you? If it was taken away from you, would you still get out of bed? And if you would, then there's something even more important to you than that. That's the next place to go with somebody. When you can tell that they're saying yes, but they don't intend to do what they're saying, they are, exactly as Brenda said, asleep at the wheel. The only conversation to have is, so tell me, what's the most important thing in the world to you? They're probably hurting in some way. They've shut themselves down in some way. That question will open them back up. And then that's when you'll really know just how wounded they are. For some people, it'll wake them up and they'll participate and go, oh yeah, okay, I completely forgot. Yeah, I see the connection now. Yes, I'll go ahead and do it. And you can feel the energy. But for far more people, you're going to find out what the challenges are that they've been stuffing down, thinking that no one else can tell. And they're just ready to pop like in any second. They're just holding it together. And when someone's just holding it together, to expect them to participate fully is really ridiculous. And then to get upset because they're not is actually more illogical and ridiculous. Yeah, Brenda, this makes sense?
It does.
That's why we have to keep ourselves aware of our own energy first. Are we stuffing something down? Are we not taking the opportunity to talk to somebody about what's going on in our life so we can clear it away and move past and show up and be a full participating team member? Because any place we're blocked, we're going to be blocked in other parts of our life as well. And if we really are aware, we've talked it through, we're good, we're in a good place, and we're encountering people who are not, then that is what being a team lifter is all about. Giving them the space, not to drag their drama. See, not giving them a space to speak about it. They're dragging their drama in and lowering the energy of everyone else. In the room, it's not being discussed. Like opening ourselves up, putting boundaries on it. Listen, I've got 5 minutes. Tell me what's going on. I want to hear what's the most important thing in the world to you. If somebody's really hurting, what they'll say is, I don't know anymore because this, and this is going on. That's all I can see. Okay, got it. How can we support you with that? Thanks, Brenda.
Apologize.
I see. Let's see.
Yeah.
We've got comments.
Yes.
A couple of comments.
Amber says, being light in the darkness has been a constant reoccurring message for me for the last week or so, and I think it even applies here.
Yes.
And then Alaman says, in a perfect world, I don't deal in optional items. All requests and agreements are necessary based on the mission. There is nothing else. Or we can give options to get the necessary request done, or not care how they get it done, just as long as they get their responsibility done.
I hear you, Alaman. And in the real world, we're dealing with people's issues, not with robots. So as they say in episode 4, if you require people who can manage their stuff and not bring it into the workplace, then be clear about that when you're hiring people or you're attracting people, that there will not be that issue here. That's where it starts. But the likelihood is that you're still going to have people who call in sick, who choose not to get their work done because there's other things that are more important. And what I'm talking about is, how do we get to success with velocity and ease? We acknowledge that. We recognize that. We find out what's going on, and then we say, so go deal with it. Okay, we don't have to be the ones to deal with it, but at least find out what's going on, as Brenda was talking about, when someone says yes and they don't get it done. Okay, if that's grounds for dismissal immediately, great. Just make sure they know that going into it. But if you want to retain your team members, so you're not constantly shuffling them through, then it's really important that everybody you interview and accept onto your team gets that they have to have done their personal work before they ever show up. Because there's very few people in the world, comparative to the whole universe, who have done their work, whose wellness is intact physically, whose emotional wellness is intact, whose mental wellness is intact, who's not taking prescription drugs, who doesn't overdo alcohol. It's just, these are factors that affect team performance. And that's what we're talking about. And if you'd like to jump in the spot, we can chat about it. I would love to do that as well. So go, Brenda.
Yeah.
We've got a
So Alaman's response is, yes, people's crap. You're right. Yes, front loading is important. Tell them at the beginning, get the right people.
Yep. That's it. And so I'm not talking about we have to have a kumbaya moments all the time, but I am saying that it's to be expected that people are not going to always show up. So that's why this episode is, how do we keep our own energy high? We keep our own energy high by managing our stuff, for accepting as soon as we show up for a team meeting or we're engaged with the team, that whatever they're doing when we're not with them is going to affect their performance on the team, and to not expect that they're going to be highly sustaining themselves every minute. And that's what most team members expect. We think that if we're taking care of ourselves, everyone else is doing the same. No, that's an assumption that's ridiculous to have. So there have to be parameters put in, and that's up to us to let people know what we expect if you're going to be on this team, or what I expect of my other team members if someone asks me to be on the team, which is what I was sharing earlier, that I was asked to be on the team. Here's my parameters. If it fits this, I'm on. If it's outside of this, I will let you know. I'm not going to do it, or I'm going to do it when I can, because I have other teams that I'm working with. All right, let's see. Is that Carrie who came on board?
Curtis.
Curtis. Sorry, Curtis. Without the glasses, it's I saw a C, but nothing else. All right. So I would love to hear from people who are having issues on their teams. We've got an open seat. This Blab is only as good as the conversations we get to have around how do we keep our own energy high when other people are not doing the same. And that allows us to be able to move forward or not move forward. So who wants to jump in the seat? Let's keep the conversation alive. See if anybody's coming. Or what have I not addressed yet? If you don't want to pop in the seat, feel free to write in the chat box. Curtis, something drew you here. We'd love to know what it is. Everyone else, what issues are you having that we can help you address related to your team issues? Maybe you haven't even attracted a team yet. Want to hear from you too. All right, what have we got there, Brenda?
It's somebody saying the seat is not open.
Oh, well, let me unlock the seat.
There we go. No, it's open.
It's open.
Come on in.
Are you coming in?
It looks like Alaman.
Yeah, come on, go for it. Let's see. Alaman, come on. Whoever comes in first. Oh, here we go. All right. Here you come. All right, Alaman, we're waiting for your video. There you are. Hi.
Oh, can't hear you. Technology. Love it when it works, and
love the flowers in the background.
Yeah, they're fun and bright.
Okay, in the meantime, let's see. We've got, just wanted to let them know. LOL, go ahead. Okay, good. Still very quiet there.
So in the meantime, Amber is saying, how do you address the balance between having expectations for team members, at least on a basic level, without feeling or coming across as dominating or feeling disappointed when what you thought when what you feel are basic things aren't even accomplished?
Okay, so actually feeling is our responsibility. How they respond is their responsibility. We're going to talk about that. But let's start at the very beginning. I'm going to give you an example, Amber, because you're in a product network marketing company. Here's what I've seen over and over again. We say we want to attract business builders, right? We want to say attract business builders. And people come on board and go, yes, I want to make money with this. Here's what most team leaders do not ask the person. They don't say, have you ever been in sales before? Give me your experience of selling. And 99.95% of the people will say, I never have. This is what I'm talking about, the illogical part of our expectations. Somebody who has never sold anything before, they've always been an employee, or they've been a stay-at-home mom doing the most important job of raising the kids, and now they're entering the workforce through network marketing, is not somebody who's most likely going to be a business builder without a lot of training. And I'm not just talking about sales training. I'm talking about emotional training, dealing with what has kept them from wanting to be in sales up to that point. Okay, people choose paths where they're most comfortable. And so I see time and time again, and my most perfect clients are really network marketing people. I work with corporate clients as well, but my most fun clients, because they have the ability to make changes right in their own backyard, if you will. They don't have to ask anybody above them. Is I'll say to them, what are the questions you're asking when someone comes on board? Are they wanting to do buy the product just for themselves? If they say no, they want to sell. Okay, great. What is it about selling that excites you? What experience do you have with selling? What challenges do you have with selling? Who do you have already in your community that you would feel comfortable sharing sharing this with? Okay, because there's all these buzzwords in network marketing. Oh, we're not selling, we're sharing. Right, Brenda?
Yes.
Okay. All right. The truth is, if we are coming from our heart, we're sharing. However, it's a company. Somebody's going to buy if we share and they like what they hear. That's selling. It is not a dirty word. So, Amber, it starts first with you finding out what you can expect from the person. And then you deciding, are you going to be the one who trains this person? Do you have sales skills? Or were you intending to attract somebody who sells better than you do? Okay, that's often what happens. Somebody gets into it, they love the product, they tell a few people about it because they just want to, it's their friends. And in the back of their mind, they're hoping that somebody they tell about the product is going to be a better salesperson than they are to help them grow their business. Okay? That's what our upline sponsors are for. Those are the people who sell better than we do. And if our upline sponsor isn't active in our lives, then go find someone else's upline sponsor who's willing to share and learn from them. But our team members, by and large, are not going to have that experience. And so for us to get disappointed when they don't is setting our own selves up. They didn't do anything to us. We just didn't ask the right questions. So before I go off of that, that's like I'm on my soapbox there because it's 90% of the problems people have in building teams in network marketing. So Amber, I'm just going to ask you, is this making sense to you? Or did I lose you? Is this making sense to anyone else who's here on this call?
Well, earlier, Amber did respond about the emotional training. And right now she's saying attracting people better than me, gold. Something I haven't thought of because college trains us to be the best.
Yeah, to be the best for ourselves. But I'm just saying, if you're wanting to have people on your team who sell better than you, then go ahead and make that a requirement for who you're going to be spending more time with. Or compartmentalize your time on your teams. Okay, I'm going to do events just for people who just want to use the product. I'm going to do events for people who want to be salespeople, but they aren't yet. That's where we're going to bring in training in how to sell, plus also how to break through the blocks. And I'd love to be your trainer for that. That's what I do. Hire me. I'll work with your team there. And then I'm going to have meetings with people who are out selling, and we're going to create events and activities together to go do that. Compartmentalize your team. In the corporate world, the issues are more often you've got people who are really excited about the company mission, and you've got people who are really excited about getting a paycheck. And they'll do the minimum in order to get that paycheck. Compartmentalize as well. Even if you're on the same team, you're really not on the same team. So that's where, what can you expect from the people? And don't expect that somebody who is not motivated by anything other than the paycheck to be as excited or to do as much as the other members. And we can sit and be irritated. Oh, I was I was a department head for Budget Rent-A-Car Corporation with a staff of 5. I was with Federal Express and I had staff. I was in an advertising agency. I'm thinking about, National Propane Gas Association. I had a team. So I've been in the corporate world. University of Houston had a team. When I came on board to all those organizations, I was inheriting the teams. When they hired me, they brought me in because the teams were not working. Right? So they went outside instead of promoting from within. So you can imagine how wonderful that was for the people who are already there, that they went outside the company instead of promoting one of them. Well, in every case, my team wound up changing and shifting because I found out what they were each about. There was a reason why none of them were promoted into the position I had. And it's because it wasn't really for them, but they just really loved the paycheck. So I worked with those people to find out what they really wanted to do. And in some cases, I was able to create positions on my team for them, very rarely though. And in other cases, I helped them be able to attract the kinds of jobs they really wanted to do. They went to other places. That gave me the opportunity to replace them with the people that were perfect for me to work with towards the goals that I told the company I'd be achieving. Okay, so Amber, going back to your disappointment, you can choose to be disappointed and live in disappointment, or you can choose to be, as you said, the light in the darkness. Go find out what's keeping these people from being excited. Maybe they're just found themselves in the wrong place because they were doing what they thought they should do, because they haven't been given skills on how to do what they would love to do. Brenda, anything you want to add to anything there, or bring in a new concept?
Well, just confirming from real life experiences, the same thing that you're sharing is that I'm one of those people. I'm passionate about the product. I don't have a lot of sales background. The thing is that I feel like I can learn those sales tools and those sales techniques and improve my skill set in that particular area. I think it's a lot harder and almost impossible to create a passion that's not there. And it's much easier for me to learn a skill than or support someone in learning a skill. If they've got the passion and they have the desire forward with sales, for example, then that's a teachable skill. That's a learnable skill that I can learn or they can learn from somebody else. You got to have the foundation.
Absolutely. Got to have the foundation. And it's not possible to teach passion.
No.
It's not even really possible to inspire passion. Mm-hmm. You can be the most inspiring person in the world for yourself. That doesn't mean someone else is going to be inspired by you.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I want to do a shout out to Pam Pollock. Pam, any chance you can pop in the seat? I know that you are growing a fabulous team. Shout out to Pam, one of my clients, and I love that she's here and growing a fabulous team. And if you don't want to pop into the seat and be on camera, just curious if anything we've been sharing is speaking to you or any insights you want to share, you can type them in the chat box down below. And while you're doing that, or if someone else has a question and you're typing it in, I do want to do a shout out. I am sharing. I'm actually also selling. Here she comes. The Be an Attraction Master program, what we call the Fastest Attraction Mastery Self-Study Program. And you'll see it there in the box. Hey, Pam, give me just one sec. I'm talking about the Fastest Attraction Mastery Program, which is how you came to find out about me, through that program. And so all of this qualifying who would be perfect for us to have on our teams to make it easier for us to keep our own energy high and keep moving forward. That's what, I get so excited. I forgot I had the earplug in there. So anyways, back to, this is how we identify who's perfect for us. It's a 4-step program. It's 6 hours, 6 sessions on audio and a workbook. And I'm going to guide you into getting very, very clear about what are the qualities of the people that you say you want to have on your team. And do you really want those qualities? Do they need to be refined a little more? How are you going to speak to people about what are your boundaries, if you will, or your requirements? And how are you going to move forward on your goals with these people? It's a complete program. At the end, you're going to have an attraction plan that, and notice I said attraction, not action. There will be actions that come from your attraction plan, but just the creation of your attraction plan will make it so much easier for you to communicate effectively with the people already on your team and with the people who are coming on board. And can you still take people that don't match your plan? Of course you can, right? You're in charge. You can make exceptions to every rule that you want. The more exceptions you make, though, the less effective your desires, your plan for attracting what you desire. So you'll be selling out on yourself every single time, but you can still do it. And if you feel like you've been selling out on yourself, then I would say click on the Be an Attraction Master button. The link is right there, and go watch the video and see if it speaks to you. So Pam, hey, you popped in. What would you like to chat about?
When you were mentioning, I just caught the second half of this, but when you were talking about people doing the things that they were passionate about, as far as within my team, the interesting thing that I've noticed is that different activities and events bring forward different people. People are interested in participating in different ways. So having some variety for people to plug into often brings out a new personality or aspect into the team, just because somebody else steps forward and says, hey, I'd like to help with that. I would love to be part of the working on the website, or they really like to be part of the socials, the make and takes, things like that. And so with the variety, I have actually gotten to know more people on my team and learn a little bit more about what drives them as a person, what excites them.
So I think I'm thrilled that you said that, because you weren't here earlier. So you just reinforced what we were talking about, is getting very clear when people come onto the team. Why are they there? What do they want to get? Rather than assuming, even if they say that they want to be business builders, finding out. So I'll just reinforce what I said earlier. Do you have any sales experience? Because somebody who has no sales experience is not going to most likely get out and start selling. They may just be there to learn about the product. And when they feel comfortable, then maybe they'll start sharing. So yeah, make and takes for your products or other things. But then there's other people who actually have experience in business and having them. And so we talked about segmenting your team so that maybe that there's 3 teams inside of one team. The one that just wants product knowledge, the one that actually wants sales training because they don't really have any, and the one that's already ready to go, has experience being with people, and you don't really mix them so that there's no because a group of people that are ready to go and fly don't slow down by people who are still dealing with their blocks about selling. Does that make sense?
Yes, for sure. And we see different people at business builder meetings than we see at like a make and take, for example. Sometimes if we've called a meeting a sharing meeting, just literally talking about how to start having conversations with other people and taking that word business out, a different group of people shows up. Sometimes it's literally those connotations that go with the word that people are put off by or just scared of, and that might stop them from popping in.
Absolutely. And so that's why it's our responsibility, because Amber had asked such a straight question, authentic question, because it's what people do. We have expectations. So this whole episode this week about how to keep our energy high can really be relabeled how to manage our expectations. Because if we're disappointed, that's our fault. Even if somebody said, like Brenda says, people will tell her yes, but she gets in her gut, they don't really mean it. To step over that and hope that they're going to do it anyway, our fault. Okay? They didn't lower my energy just because, even though they lied, I lowered my energy because I could feel it. I could know that that wasn't going to happen, and I chose not to go there. Or somebody is just off doing their own thing, and I want them to do my thing. I'm disappointed by that. Oh, well. Where's that going to take me? And so I'm going to share one last comment about that, telling on myself. So for a number of years, I was really upset with a team member of mine. I mean, it was like 2 to almost 3 years, because I was treating them like I wanted to be treated, but they weren't responding the way I would have responded. Staying in touch with them, I was encouraging them. I would say, hey, did you see what your team is doing over here? And rah, rah, and good job. And would you please go out and tell them I said so? And no, she wouldn't do any of that. I was lucky if I got a response back, thanks. Meanwhile, I was not focusing on what she was doing. That she was spending time building her product knowledge. And that was what was most important in the world to her. She was looking at the her long-term goals, and doing everything that was important to her to get to those long-term goals. Completely connected to the team from her perspective, but the stuff that I thought was important, just not important to her. Years later, it is now, because she got that part handled. And we were reaching a point where I very much could have shot myself in the foot. You know, like cut off my nose to spite my face, all of that. Because I was reaching a point where I was like, I'm going to have a conversation with this person. This is years before I realized that doesn't work. And I started feeling how angry I was in my body. And I said, you know, I do know about energy. Even though we're not talking, I bet this energy is coming through my post to her or my text to her. I sure would want to feel that from someone else. So I could just change. And I was like, okay, I'll just change. And Brenda, I know we've got a comment there. We'll get to it in just a moment. And I went, no, you think that you can hide it by changing. You owe her an apology. I just knew it when I said it. It's like, yeah. I picked up the phone. I called. I asked. I got her voicemail. I said, I owe you an apology. Can you let me know when would be a good time for me to give it to you? She called right back. That never happened. And she said, what do you want to apologize for? And I said, I've just been upset with you because you're not me. And I have been focusing on all the ways you're not me instead of all the ways you're you. I haven't appreciated you. I haven't appreciated you for a very long time. And I really feel, and I did, badly about that. And could you forgive me? Because I just realized it today. And she did. And I said, so now I'm going to do things differently. How can I be of the greatest support to you? And she said, I don't know, but when I do, if you'd be available to me, I'd appreciate it. Because I'm doing this thing newly. I've never done this before. I've got some coaches I'm working with in the business part of it. And she was going for certifications that she needed to do. And slowly our relationship improved. And we just spent a week together at this convention, having, time of our lives and creating something newly, because that part of her development towards her future is now complete. And she won't be me, but she will be more of what my team could use, because I'm not that. And so I just wanted to share this with everyone. Is I was the one lowering my energy, not her. All right, Brenda, any final comments as we start to wrap up here?
The Alaman just said he can hear us now. He had actually lost audio to being able to hear us as well. And he says, what I was going to say, a good way is to be a good example. If we show people rather than tell them, it sometimes works better.
Exactly. Exactly. And I hope that what I was sharing just now about demonstrating, I didn't tell her to be herself. I just simply apologized that I didn't accept that she was being herself. And I'm going to invite everybody to think about, take a moment after this chat ends. Consider if there's anybody on your team you've been holding a grudge against or resenting because they weren't who you wanted them to be. And first, identify for yourself, why did that disappoint you? Clear that up within you. And then if you're brave enough, if you're bold enough, go apologize to them because they've probably been feeling it. And there's a way that they can participate on your team their way if you give them the space to do that. So let's see. Did we have a conversation from
yes.
Amber? Yeah.
Kind of the difference between being a real leader saying, let's do this together versus a boss, you need to do this.
Exactly. Exactly that. And that's why here in these shows, we talk about how to be a team lifter who is an equal partner with their team members rather than a team leader who's a guru and has a bunch of followers. Either way, they're two different models. One is not better than the other. For some people, they prefer to have followers. For others, they prefer to have equals. It's your choice. But here, we're here to talk about the lifters and being equal. So beanattractionmaster.com is waiting for you. If you have questions, you can send an email to me at Stacy and Brenda.
Yes, I'm typing it in.
I'd appreciate it. It's lovely having a team member who can see without her glasses. I appreciate that very much. Stacy at stacyhallonline.com. Be happy to chat with you about it. Pam, anything, and Brenda, both of you have started with that program. Any last comments, Pam, you'd like to say about the Attraction Mastery Study Program, what it produced for you and your team?
It's been awesome for both me and my team members in just becoming more specific about who it is that we're looking to attract. And for me, I had been to a lot of different classes and seminars, various different conventions about finding my why. And I never really grasped that. And throughout this program, I not only discovered with working with Stacy what makes me tick, which changed in that moment how I thought about everything and how I interacted with other people, but also what is my be all and how that's morphed and kind of gotten more specific over time and revisiting it and paying more attention to the attraction process in my life and how what I focus on is what I attract. So focusing on the positive and what I want to attract, what I like, not what I don't like, has brought more of that and allowed me opportunities to get more specific.
Yay! Yay! Thanks. Brenda, any final thoughts?
Well, I would just like to say that not only is this particular program supporting me in growing my teams, it's also supporting me in growing me and how I interact with my team members, and supporting me in getting rid of some of that emotional baggage that we talked about earlier in the blog today. And so double-sided, it's supportive both directions from my perspective.
Beautiful. It's wonderful. I really have appreciated everybody today. We do these on a pretty regular basis. If you have not seen the previous episodes, they're saved on YouTube. They're also here on Blab at the Attraction Zone. And we'll just go very quickly through. We've already talked about how to help a team schedule for success together, how to play, explore, discover, experiment together, how to plan for every stage of the team's growth and development, how to get clear about the qualities that you want to have on your team. We actually did a mini version of the Fastest Attraction Mastery Program in episode 4. We talked about how to have harmoniously powerful agreements between the team members. We talked about how to appreciate ourselves because if we want appreciation from our team members, we got to appreciate ourselves first. And then we've also talked about how to appreciate our team members fully. And today we got to talk about how to get over our disappointments and stay energetically enthusiastic as a full and functioning team member with others. So thanks, everyone. Next episode is actually going to be on how to clear our own clutter out. Emotional, mental, and physical clutter, so that we can, again, be a full and functioning team member, attracting other perfect team members to us. So thanks for being here and being an attraction master. Until next time, you can hang out with us at our website, chi2b.com, chi-to-be.com, and happy team attraction.
Bye, everyone.